Greetings everyone, I'm the delicious and mythical Griffin Muffin. So I've made this video today to talk about why I think it's a good time to return to World of Warcraft. To be perfectly honest, as soon as that cinematic came out, as soon as I woke up I looked it up, watched it when I was making breakfast, and I was just like, holy crap. The cinematic was amazing. I was really impressed by, Anduin calling upon the light to resurrect all his soldiers, and I was impressed by the Banshee Queen Sylvanas coming down and just wreaking havoc on all the Alliance soldiers. And I think the trailer communicates that, Sylvanas is stepping into the role of the War Chief of the Horde, and Anduin, who was an advocate for peace, is finally stepping into the role of, he probably has to fight for peace. He realizes that he has to fight for peace, but he's going to do it his own way. And because of the cinematic, as soon as the cinematic ended, in my head I was like, I'm coming back. I'm coming back after 11 years of not playing. I haven't played since vanilla. I haven't played since pre-BC. And then I looked up all the features regarding this expansion, such as the war fronts, the expeditions, the Azerite, and all the other features that are coming out for battle or BFA or whatever you want to call it. One thing that also impresses me about this expansion that I gather from the cinematic is that it's going back to its roots. It's Horde versus Alliance. Just the good old-fashioned, xenophobic Horde versus Alliance sort of trope, because that's what shapes the people in that world. When you have a common enemy and you have to fight a big bad, a big space demon, it's just like, yeah, that happens, and they defeat the demon and then he goes bye-bye or whatever. When you have a group of people like the Horde and the other faction of the Alliance fighting one another, it creates a very interesting world that I love exploring. And because of this, I'm so intrigued by what's going to happen in the story, what's going to happen with Sylvanas and Anduin and Genn. And for me, that's what makes Warcraft. It's the world of perpetual warfare in which we see these people molded by such a world. One thing that's particularly interesting about the upcoming expansion is the changes to leveling brackets and leveling in general in patch 7.3.5, in which they're minimizing the brackets in leveling zones, they're increasing health of mobs, scaling the complexity of combat across the leveling experience from 1 to 60. And I really like this. It seems like if I were to pick up again from level 1 to 60, I'm going to enjoy leveling again. I haven't heard a lot about, I haven't experienced leveling myself since vanilla for WoW, but the common thing I keep hearing is that leveling sucks now, and that's why people opt out for the level boost. But now it seems like you won't outlevel the zone and not enjoy the lore or the story and the quests, but you can actually enjoy leveling. I've been keeping track of certain people playing on the PTR, such as Bellular Gaming, and he says that the leveling experience has become fun again. And I think that's one of the main things that plagues WoW currently, is the lack of decision whether or not they're going to opt for good game design or the ease of player reward. And I personally think that this leveling fix that's coming up will fix that. They'll opt out for better game design rather than player reward, and new players will actually hop onto the game and be like, hey, this is fun, rather than be like, oh, this is terrible, just buy a level boost. One thing I'm also so excited for in the expansion is the fact that we're going to Kul Tiras, I remember playing the Founding of Durotar, the campaign in Warcraft 3, and I was like, where's Kul Tiras? What is this place? It's not on the Azeroth map. Where is it? And they hear, oh, it's offshore and stuff, and I'm like, man, I want to see it, It's great to actually go there now and see the world that influenced Rexxar, Vol'jin, and Jaina Proudmoore. And then we're going to get the Zandalari Trolls, and for me personally, I know the Zandalari Trolls were a big thing in Mist of Pandaria. I obviously didn't play Mist, I haven't played for 11 years, but I really like the Shadows of the Horde novel, in which the Zandalari Trolls are in that story. So I would really like to see their homeland and, see the Zandalari Empire. And you may be thinking, hey, you've mentioned both and you're excited for both, pick one, Horde or Alliance, Thing is, I'm not like that. I like Alliance and Horde. I've played both characters, to one character each to 60, I don't have that. I'm a bit bipartisan, so to speak. So, I can't wait to get involved with the politics of Kul Tiras. Apparently there's, warring houses or whatever. And then I can't wait to go see the Zandalari Trolls, and solve their problem. But Also, I'm really camping out for seeing Vol'jin again. I bet you anything he's become a lower, and we get to work with him and all that sort of stuff. Man, I miss that red-headed bastard. And one thing that's bringing me back as well is because I think Legion has redeemed the failures that Warlords of Draenor brought to World of Warcraft. Now, obviously, I didn't play Warlords of Draenor, but there was enough news to figure out what went wrong and what they introduced, and I found out about garrisons, and someone told me a bit more in depth about them. I'm like, that sounds like crap. If that was introduced into the game when I was actually playing, I would have just unsubbed immediately. I would just be, no, sorry, I'm not playing a Facebook game on World of Warcraft. Even though with Warlords of Draenor, you know, looking for opinions and a collective sort of thought online, it's rather divided. You can't find one person that goes, you can't find everyone that goes, oh, I hated this particular feature. It's always like 99 people say, I hated it, and then one guy goes, oh no, I liked it. And recently, the opinions on Legion are rather mixed. You hear stuff where, oh, PvE is great, but PvP's shit, and there's too much to do, and I'm being burnt out and everything, but I think overall, they've learned their mistakes, and I think they've corrected a lot of the mistakes that they made. And I think the overall quality of the game has improved. I mean, I haven't been able to find any solid numbers on subscriptions, but there was some report in May of this year that talked about how Legion is doing, quotes, slightly better than Warlords of Draenor. And then some people have speculated that it's roughly now 7.1 million subscribers. I don't have a solid thing, that's just a collected sort of gathering of information and being like, oh, and inference and whatnot, so don't take my word for it. If it's increased from 5 million to roughly 7 million, I think they're doing something right. I don't think we'll ever get the 12 million peak that we had with Wrath of the Lich King, but it's always good to be going up, you know? I regret that I missed out a majority of the Legion content, especially with the artifact weapons, because, you know, apparently there's some really deep lore involving the artifact weapons, such as for the Paladin, which would be probably one of my go-tos. You go back to Uther the Lightbringer's tomb. Man, that sounds awesome. Also, I think the features that they're adding to the new expansion for BFA, Battle, whatever you want to call it, I think the features that they've added are really interesting. And it's given me confidence that they haven't just rehashed old content and that there's actually new modes or actually new things to explore. The Warfronts appear to be a blend of RTS and WoW-style PvP. And of course, I'm a huge fan of the Warcraft RTS, so I'm pretty eager to jump into the Warfronts. And I'm really eager to see how this is implemented, how long-lasting it is, and how innovative it is. When I read the description of the Warfronts, it made me think of games like Savage, Natural Selection 2, you know, stuff like that. It could be something like that, it could be something analogous, or it could be something completely different, or something entirely new, something that isn't like Savage or anything I just referenced. And we won't actually know until a pre-release of some sort. The expedition seemed particularly interesting as well. I'm not informed whether or not other MMOs have done a similar thing to this, but to me it looks pretty unique. I like how it's either enemy players or advanced AI. Removing the PvP flag? Hell yeah. You see, I always had a problem with this because I was the kind of guy that was kind of capricious with PvP, but a lot of my friends played on PvP servers, so I had to join those servers to play with them. You know, when I was playing by myself, I would get ganked constantly and I would fall behind in leveling when they were like getting way ahead. And now, you can choose whether or not you just want to level or you want to go out in PvP. And from the research I've done from news and opinion pieces on YouTube and whatnot, from numerous outlets, I got the impression that WoW is now more casual friendly and has a lot of features that the old-fangled hardcore crowd would find to be pampering to kids or not for true gamers. Honestly, I look forward to a more casual friendly game. It might suit my lifestyle a bit more, you know, I've got a job, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I've got a beard to maintain, and at the end of the day, I'll just play the content that I want to play. Like the pet battles and stuff, that doesn't really interest me, so I'll just ignore that stuff and I'll play the stuff I want to play. And when it comes down to it, guys, I'm coming back because it's a great time in my life to come back, you know? You know, I'm doing a lot better in life, I've got a job, I've got a great family and stuff like that, I've got, you know, the time to pick up WoW again, while before I didn't have a good gaming rig, I was constantly busy with full-time study, so yeah, now it's a great time for me personally to return. And I really like how it's coalesced with a great expansion coming out, you know? I think Blizzard have given me confidence that if I resub, I'm gonna join a great game again, especially with the fact that, you know, they've got the leveling fix, they're bringing in some good features for BFA, Battle for Azeroth, and I'm really eager to see how the story plays out. It seems in Legion they're really pulling towards good storytelling again. So yeah, I'm really keen to get back to WoW. And if you're sitting on the fence about it, I hope I've convinced you too, because I don't think it will be bad. If anything does go wrong, I don't think it will be as bad as Warlords of Draenor. Alright, like, comment, subscribe, do all that lovely stuff down below. If you're interested in videos like this, be sure to subscribe. I do plan to do some opinion pieces of my leveling experience when I hop back into WoW, so if you want to see the perspective of someone that's hopping back into retail WoW after 11 years, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It's just down there, you know, it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you, just click it, you know. That's all from me. Be sure to share this video with your mates, and I'll see you later.
Wait. Before you leave, I just wanted to give a shout out to my good mate at Zainai Games on Twitch. If you're in the mood for some PUBG or Overwatch streaming, head on over to Zainai Games 9 PM AWST. That's Australian Western Standard Time, meaning UTC +8 time zone. Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays. I myself usually catch the Sunday sesh with him. Be sure to come on over and support Perth YouTubers and streamers. Seriously, it's so boring in Perth, please come hang out with us.